Ladies, welcome to another Self-Love Conversations. My name is Gloria Ward, and I just love coming and talking to you guys each and every time we have a self-love conversation. And tonight we have Miss Sydney Mitchell. She has a familiar face. You have seen her either on BMF, on BET's, is it Wives Club, right?
First Stars Club.
First Wives Club, not the one with Jill Scott. Is that right?
Yes, yes, yes.
And it's so amazing to have her here, ladies, because one of the things we're going to talk about, of course, everything is surrounded around self-love. But what happens when things are uncertain? What happens, when you need to find a little bit more of that confidence? So, Sydney, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Absolutely. So, my first question to you is, how did you get to this point in your life where you are right now?
Ooh, it took a lot of persistence, and really having a good support system. So I started as a model. I was doing some print work as a young, probably, well, model and dancer, probably since I was like 6 years old. And so over time, I decided, I was like, okay, I think I want to try something different. So I started acting. And like I said, just really, I tell people all the time, I feel like it's a little bit of stubbornness I had where I was like, no, like, they're not going to tell me no. They're not going to keep telling me no, where I just kept going, kept going, kept going. And then here we are. And then, like I said, just my family has been such a good support system. And they've like always been encouraging. They've always helped me whatever they needed to do. My mom has like invested in headshots and acting classes, when I was young. And so I really give it all to them. But it's been a journey, but we've gotten here.
And hearing you speak, what I'm hearing is that you are on your journey
Yes.
and being on that journey and walking through that process of, trying to pursue your dream. You're
Hmm.
hearing a lot of no's, and you
Yeah.
need to actually be persistent, and you need
Yes.
to continue to invest in yourself.
Mhm.
And we don't even know if it will still all work out.
Right.
What
Right.
what is it that is in you that is giving you that push to continue to move forward and
Mhm.
that confidence? Like, where does that come from?
Ooh, well, to be completely transparent, it's not an everyday thing that I feel confident, especially as an actress. Because, like you said, like there are times you'll see people on top, actors, singers, like our career is very indefinite. So we could be up here, and then, when you look at a show and you're like, where'd that actress go? Like, what happened to her? It's like,
Hmm.
so it's hard to keep that confidence, especially when, like you said, you keep hearing no and no, 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 no over again. And it's almost even harder when you're up top and then you hear no, 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 no. It's like a slow decline. So it's definitely hard to keep the confidence, but I have two things that I've like really tapped into. Number one is just kind of knowing I truly, truly, truly believe that like God has the final say and like whatever he wants for me is how it's supposed to be, whether it's acting, whether it's, teaching, whatever it is, that's the final. So I feel like my journey's already kind of mapped out.
Hmm.
Like I said, whether it is what I think I should be doing or what I don't think. So I try to keep that in mind of, it's bigger than me and, it's like I said, kind of already written. And then also just trying to keep my mind on other things, during the time when I have down times, like what can I do to get better at my craft, instead of focusing on like the no, 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 I'm focusing on, okay, what can I do to make it to where they're not gonna say no? I'm gonna
Right.
or in exploring other avenues. It's like it might not be this way, maybe it's this way. So as of lately, I'm like, okay, what about looking into more hippie roles or more, things that you wouldn't expect to be, but it could hit for you that way. So, like I
Mm.
said, trying to stay busy in other avenues to where I don't focus on just being oh man, I heard another no.
Right.
Mhm.
It just makes me think, because what I want the ladies to know is that in your career, it is very difficult and it weighs on your self-esteem
Oh yeah, for sure.
because there's a lot of people who are telling you you're not good enough. You're
Yes.
not pretty enough. You're
Mm-hmm.
not small enough. You're
Mm-hmm.
not big enough.
Yeah.
You don't have this.
Yeah.
You're not this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like eventually you're saying to yourself, well, maybe I'm not because I keep hearing these
Right.
no's and I keep hearing these things, right? So
Yes.
it's something that plays with your mind where it has to be something in you that knows that this is just a part of the game,
Yes.
right? That
Yes.
I am not probably right for what they're looking for, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not a personal attack on me,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
right?
100%. 100%.
And I think a lot of people get lost in that, even when you're trying to start a business or you're trying to get a
Mm-hmm.
job and you're hearing the same kind of things, you
Mm-hmm.
start to think, well, damn, well, maybe something is wrong with me.
Right. Right.
But it's like, no. So again, how do you create that separation?
Mm-hmm.
Because those lines can cross
Yes.
so well where you just like, I'm just going to give up.
Right, right. Yes, yes. And like you said, after for so long, hearing the no's, it's going to weigh on you. It really is. But one thing I have learned is that because also the other thing that you have to take into perspective is you're going to hear no's from people who are like close to you, not even just
Yeah.
producers. Like you're going to hear my family when I first said I was going to be an actress was like, you're not going to LA to be no actress. Like, it's like, because everybody says that, so it's
Mhm.
like you said, after a while, your self-esteem is just like, and especially when you start hearing the no's, you're like, oh, maybe I'm not going to do this. But I genuinely feel like it has to be a little bit of like I don't even want to call it stubbornness, but something in you that is like, if this is something that truly, truly makes you happy,
Mhm.
then you can't listen to the outside noise, and it's like, and I do have my days, like you said, I do have my days where I'm like feeling super, especially when it's a role I really, really want. And I went and
Yeah.
did all the stops, and then they're like, oh, so and so got it. I'm just like, oh, it's like you get
Yeah.
frustrated. And like you said, especially when it's appearance stuff, oh, she's too this, she's too that, she's too it gets frustrating. But like I said, I just try to stay positive in just knowing that, like I said, number one, um, I truly, truly believe what's for me is for me, but then also just kind of, staying in a place of, okay, if this is not the route that I'm supposed to be going, then there is another route. Like I said, just, and keeping that in mind and exploring other avenues where those down days, use that for something, whether it's meditation, whether it's um anything, just to kind of, like I said, stay within
So,
myself and keep my
mhm.
brain together and know that it's going to work out, and try to talk to myself and try to do things. And that's why I said having
Yep.
a group is so important, because you need people
Mhm.
that are pouring into you. It doesn't help when you have a toxic boyfriend and
Right.
and hating friends or whatever you want to call it. That doesn't help because you're already feeling down. So to have people pouring into you, and you all go out for drinks and y'all are talking about how you feel
Yep.
and expressing that, that helps a lot too. So I just tried to keep like my life very, very, very peaceful. And I know that gets hard sometimes, but overall it's been to a place where it's like I cannot afford anything that does not pour into positivity, because there's already enough no's.
Exactly. And
Hmm.
it's so funny because it was, I think on Monday,
Hmm.
um, I was like feeling really crazy, right? Because
Hmm.
even in anything where you're trying to pursue your dream,
Yes.
ladies, you're always going to go through these roller coaster of feelings.
Hmm.
And you're going through these roller coaster of feelings is because you're trying to figure it out.
Hmm.
Sometimes you're on top of a mountain and sometimes you are in the valley,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And those times that you are in a valley,
Mhm.
you're trying to figure out how can you start to crawl out because you know you can't stay there,
Right.
right? But
Right.
you know you're there and you feel your feelings and then you continue to see how you could come out. Like
Mhm.
you said, the support system is something that is amazing. So
Mhm.
I was having this day,
Mhm.
right, where I already had my day planned out.
Mhm.
In Sydney, it was going to be a basic day, but it didn't work out that way. The
Right.
day went crazy, and I
Mhm.
had to go see a couple of clients, and I didn't want to
Mhm.
because I was like, that's not what I was supposed to do, right? I
Right.
can never get the stuff done that I need to get done because I'm always doing something else.
Mhm.
But when I got there, when I got to my client's place, I did whatever it is that I needed to do. And I
Mhm.
left, and I get a phone call from one of the ladies that worked there.
Mhm.
And I was just like, damn, I don't want to pick up this phone
Right, right.
because obviously I'm like,
Right.
either I missed something or they want something else,
Mhm.
and I don't have time to turn around because I got to go back to the date that I planned.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I pick up the phone, and the lady was like, I knew you was gonna come,
Mhm.
and I was waiting on you. And I said that I had to call you, but when I saw you move around and walk by, I knew you was busy and you had something on your mind. But I
Mhm.
had to tell you that that Friday when you came, you spoke life into me. I mean, you had me thinking about stuff. And I prayed for you and I did all this for you. You got to understand what you're doing is
Mhm.
amazing. And she just kept speaking life and
Mhm.
everything to the point where I started crying because I said to myself, the day was supposed to go a certain way, the
Yeah.
way I thought.
Yes.
But what was happening is I was getting more confirmation that
Yeah.
what I'm doing is
Mhm.
what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right,
You
right,
see what I'm saying?
exactly,
So
yes,
it's
yeah.
like, even in the midst of, like, we're talking about this uncertainty,
Mhm.
you always get little drips of confirmation
Yes,
that
yes.
you're doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly. And even if it is like a little repositioning, like you said,
Yes,
to where you're like, okay, this is not the route I'm supposed to be going. Like it might be for a whole nother reason that you have no idea of. And like I'm kind of experiencing that now where it's like so many things are doing this. And I'm like, why is that happening? And then later it happens every time later.
every
I'm
time.
like, oh my gosh, if this didn't happen, I wouldn't have met so and so who introduced me to so and so, you know? So it's like, it may feel bad now, but there is a greater good.
Because what I tell the ladies is like what we're fighting against is our own agenda. And
Mhm.
what we have to do is
Yes.
allow things to flow the way they supposed to. Because if
Right.
I would have fought my own agenda, I wouldn't have
Yeah.
3 times of confirmation of
Wow.
what it is that I'm supposed to do. We
Right.
have to be able to follow what the universe is telling us.
Right.
You don't want to do this. You don't want to go meet this person. You don't want
Mhm.
to go ahead and put yourself out there
Mhm.
because you believe you have a certain way. But
Right.
when you are put into these positions and you understand why, I promise you, everything always works out
Yeah.
for you. And it's not the way you thought it was going to
Yeah.
work out.
Exactly. That is so true. That is so
It
true.
is
And
not.
and even in the opposite direction, I feel like sometimes fighting against, like there are times, like you said, I'll literally meditate, I'll pray, and then I'll see it, and then I go against it. And
Yep.
I'm like, no, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. I want to do this, and then it'll happen again and again. And it's like these are signs trying to show you the redirection,
Exactly.
and you have to listen to your gut
Hmm.
and those signs, and not go against them.
And lean in because
Mhm.
even in uncertainty right now, we
Mhm.
have a lot of things that's going on. We have, unemployment is coming back. You got people listening to different things. You have the world is going to be the world,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
that's what I tell people. The world is going to be the world and they're not going to change.
Yeah.
So the only thing that you can do is control what you can, which is
Yes.
you,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
that whole thing of, you are of the world, but you don't have to live in it. You just know
Mhm.
what's going on, but that
Right.
doesn't have to affect you. So
Right.
when we're looking at what other people are doing in social media and wondering why, and this can't be you, and everybody's telling you no, and is this for you? It's like,
Mhm.
wait a minute.
Right.
You got to be able to see,
Mhm.
like what you said, what's for me is for me.
Right,
And the
right.
route that I'm taking is the path that I'm supposed to
Yeah.
take. And I'm going to be grateful in that. I'm
Yeah.
going to love in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And whatever that blossoms into,
Mhm.
I'm taking what I have in my hand and
Right.
I'm going to grow that. Right?
Exactly. Exactly. 100%. 100%. Yes. And I think it's also like what you were saying as well, just knowing that it gets better. And I know that sounds cliche, but even when you are in those, bad areas and things just feel like they are not going to, I always give myself, I heard Beyonce does 24 hours. I give myself a week. I can't
Yep.
do 24 hours, but
Yep.
to just sit with it. If I'm really, really sad, I'll give myself a week to just feel it. Cause sometimes,
Mhm.
sometimes people are like, oh, you should go out and get it. No, not tomorrow. Like, I need to feel it for at least a week. And then
That's
once I
right.
get out of that week, I know like it every single time. I don't know what it is about on that seventh day, it goes like this a little bit, So it's like even at
Hmm.
your deepest, darkest, you have to know that it does go back up because it's like that's what keeps you going,
Yeah,
because
nothing lasts forever, and everything
yes.
does change, and the tide
Yes.
always change.
Mm-hmm.
But what I love what you said is the fact that you got to be able to sit with it. See, we don't
Yes.
want to be able to sit with our feelings
Mhm.
because it
Yeah.
gets a little scary. Because
Yes.
if we sit here and we cry and we
Mhm.
moan and we do this, we get stuck.
Right.
Where it's like, okay, the point is there something
Mhm.
while I'm in this valley that
Mhm.
I'm supposed to learn,
Right, exactly.
not
Exactly.
sit here and get stuck here. I can
Yes.
I can cry, I could be upset,
Mhm.
but I gotta
Mhm.
learn at the
Yes.
same time. Because see what you do, you take 7 days
Mhm.
to learn, to figure it out, to digest, to dissect,
Yes.
to
Yes.
think, to
Yes.
figure out, what
Mhm.
is it? And
Yeah.
then once you start to see on that 6th or 7th day, like you
Yeah.
said, it
Mhm.
starts to climb.
Exactly, exactly. And what do you take away from it? Like you said, what do you
Exactly.
learn from it? That's what it's about, is not repeating the same, either mistake or something you don't like over and over and over. So in those 7 days, like you said, it may be dark, but I'm learning something and I'm processing it and I'm taking it to the next, situation, relationship, friendship, job, whatever it is. I'm taking that information and moving on with it. So that's been a
Yes. So
beautiful
where
thing.
do you see your career going now? Like for me, entertainment is something I look at and it's a little bit scary, but I,
Yes.
I do believe what you say. You'll
Hmm.
be able to, with the age of technology and social
Hmm.
media, you could be able to write your own story, right?
Yes.
You can
Yes.
you can do mostly your own videos, movies, this,
Hmm.
that. And
Hmm.
like you said, you can pivot. So
Right.
how do you see yourself moving in this entertainment world?
So, you brought up a great point. So, as of now, we're on an actor strike, and
Hmm.
this is really same thing that what we're talking about. At first, I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I'm not going to be working. Da, da. But now that I've been sitting and quiet, this has like kind of been my time to be like, what, let me try this avenue. Let me see what's over here.
Right.
Let me see what's over there. So, like you said, I really, really am starting to tap into the behind the scenes. Like you said, like so much content is being created. What
Absolutely.
says that I can't create my own, So that's why I'm sure you've seen like so many actors and actresses are trying other avenues
Hmm.
and doing other things because we have time right now to sit and kind of figure out what else we like to do. And so mine, I'm hoping, is going to be in the directing, producing my own stuff. That's the avenue I really want to go down. So my ultimate goal has been to be an action actress. So I really want to
Mm-hmm.
do like Tomb Raider, Marvel type of stuff. And so, I've auditioned. And so then I started being like I said, with the actor strike, I'm like, what if I create something and you never know where it'll go? It can start this small and look at Issa Rae, look at people
Exactly.
who just believed in themselves and really, really wanted to do something. And it's like, instead of waiting for somebody to give me the opportunity, what if I created, allow them to
Hmm.
see it, and then, it go from there. So I am in stunt training, I'm in boxing training, and
Wow.
we working on it.
Wow. How's
Yeah.
that going?
It's been
Stunt
so
training.
Yes, yes. It's been so I just started last week, so I'm very, very fresh. Boxing, I've been doing for about a month now. Um,
Okay.
and the boxing, I'm getting there with the boxing. I'm about a month in, like I said. The stunts, we working on it, but but it's been so much fun. It's what I really love. I did a movie called Under His Influence, where I did all my own stunts, and that was the first time I was like, okay, this is what I want to do, because it was so funny. All the girls were like, oh my gosh, like, how are we supposed? And I'm like, girl, just jump. Like, let me show you how to
Okay.
jump. That's when
Wow.
I realized, like, that's what I really wanted to do. So now I'm trying to, like I said, go into that avenue. I just had so much fun doing it. And I did a show called Tales on BET. And I played an undercover cop on
Mhm.
that, and I loved it. Just seeing all the way they do the shootings, and
Yeah.
it was just so much fun. So like I said, I'm going down that avenue. It's been really, really fun. So I'm excited to see where it goes.
I'm excited for you because I'm
Thank
like,
you.
there's so many avenues, like you said, in different streaming platforms. I
Yes.
think people be sleeping on Tubi, but it
Yeah,
looks like you could get on Tubi and
listen.
like at least experiment with
Yes,
it. Like I was telling people,
exactly.
I wish I could do,
Mhm,
like a movie and know how to
mhm.
put it together because it looks like
Right.
Tubi is giving a lot of people,
Yes,
especially a lot of African Americans, the
yes.
opportunity for
And they
them to
have
show their stuff.
and they have a big audience too,
They
like,
do. The
yes.
shoe, even though they look corny to me,
Right.
them shows be good.
Right. No, I have some friends who strictly, I don't care if it's to laugh, whatever. They're like, we have our day for Tubi movies. Like, they like
That's
watching
right.
the Tubi
That's
movies.
right.
So,
So
yeah.
there's so many different avenues and so many
Mhm.
different things. And again, I like what you said. When things are uncertain, find other avenues. When
Yes.
things
Yes.
are uncertain, know that you have to be able to call on your tribe and be filled up,
Right.
have
One.
that support,
Yes.
right? When things are uncertain, remember you have to be able to feel your feelings,
Mhm.
figure it out, and
Mhm.
then come out. It is nothing where you can stay in one place because at the same time, at the end of the day, you control your own narrative.
Yes,
You
exactly.
control if you're going to stop or
Mhm.
if you're going to keep pursuing your dream.
Right.
And nobody can take anything away from you. I told a friend the other day, I said, I tried to look for every scenario as to why stuff is not working out.
Mhm.
And I just couldn't figure out. It was just, circumstances because nobody's
Mhm.
bothering me,
Yeah,
right?
right. Right, right.
Nobody's influencing me to do something bad,
Right,
right?
right.
Nobody's doing it's just me,
Yeah, right, right, exactly,
right?
exactly.
And so if it's just me, then that's the person that I need to work on. Because
Yes,
if I don't have no
exactly.
outside influences that's making
Mhm,
me, that's influencing me to do negative
mhm.
things or
Yeah,
influencing me to take these risks, then who's holding
yeah.
themselves back? Me.
That is so true. That is so true. And I had that. I remember I made a post. It was like a birthday post, probably like 5 years ago when I really started acting. And I remember I said in it, the craziest thing is realizing that you are the only thing in your way. And that is when on the other side of that is where the blossom comes, because when you realize, like, wait a minute, I can control if
Hmm.
everything that happens in my life, and not, like you said, like, it's one thing to blame this person, or have this person in the way, but once that's all cleared and it's just you, and like, okay, tomorrow I can start this, then, like I said, it's like a whole nother world on the other side of that. So I'm glad you said
Hmm.
that. That's so true.
My coach used to tell me if you sit and point your fingers at everything that you feel like is wrong,
Mhm.
you're always in the middle.
Yeah, right. Right,
You
right.
could do this all day, but you're
Right,
always in the middle, right?
right. That's so
So it
true.
doesn't matter, right?
Yes,
It doesn't
yes.
matter. You're the
Mhm.
problem.
Right.
Oh,
That's
Sydney, how can we follow you and look at your career, and maybe once you go ahead and pivot and be that director, you can have some wonderful actors and actresses and people
Yes.
that you need. How can we
Yes,
follow you?
yes, that is my goal. So on Instagram, I am Sydney Mitchell Official. On Twitter or X now, I guess, I am I am I think it's Sid M Official. And then on
Mhm.
TikTok, I'm Sydney Mitchell Official as well.
Amazing. Sydney, thank
Mhm.
you so much for being here.
Yes,
And
thank
thank you so much for
you.
dropping some gems
Thank
on
you.
us. Ladies, please like and share this video. Give Sydney some love. We're going to put all her information in the notes below.
Mhm.
And I will see you on the next conversation. Sydney, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you
here.
so
Okay.
much. It was great
Uh,
talking to you.
I know. Have a good night.
All right, you too.
Mhm.